And then as we start to play here, oh, we're going to feel this release across the traps. The backs of our mat, sitting on the heels. Let's just walk out the hands. This is really going to help us ready the body, release any tension in the neck, shoulders, upper back. So we're going to separate our knees about the distance of our hips, walking the hands forward, stacking the hips over the knees, and coming into puppy pose. So we can either rest the forehead down or the chin, but let's just find something that the body's calling for here. And let's stick with this kind of metaphor of waves and start to work in layers. The first wave, we press into the hands, we make it a little more active. We ground into the tops of the feet, feel the shins trying to get weighty, making contact with the floor. And then the second wave, maybe we ease off to about 50% of our capacity for that resistance. And then the third wave is this idea of surrendering. So we just allow the shoulder girdle to sink a little bit more deeply towards the floor here. Starting to connect with the breath. And then we're going to slowly push into the hands to come forward, walking those hands back, and let's just have a seat on our heels. Inhale to breathe the arms up, and then exhale, we're going to cross the right arm over the left, coming into Garudasana hands. Inhale to lengthen through the neck, lengthen through the spine. Now as we exhale, we're going to draw the elbows downward as we press the forearms together. So think of like two arms becoming one. And then as we start to play here, oh, we're going to feel this release across the traps. We're going to start to pivot the hands over towards, just tilting them to the right. Exhale, let's bring the head over to the left. And just start to explore here. So you're going to nod a little bit of yes, maybe a little bit of no, as we draw those elbows down. And now let's start to arch in the low back. So we'll actually start to flex the spine. And think of directing your breath toward or behind the right lung here. And just stay with this nodding yes and no. And then coming back to center, let's open the arms up, just to give them a moment to rest. Feel that relief. Inhale to breathe the arms up. Exhale, coming into the other side. Twizzling the arms. Inhale to raise the arms up to help you elongate your spine. Now exhale, we're going to start to pull the elbows down. Now tilting the hands over towards the left side. Inhale to grow long. Exhale to start to tilt the head towards the right. Sort of like drawing your chin towards your armpit and giving it a little yes, a little no. And then we'll start to pull the navel back, arching the low back, and sending the breath, like directing it to the back of the left lung, filling that up. Just staying with these little micro movements. Never forceful, just very gentle. Try to find ease within it. Just asking the muscles to relax and receive the stretch. And then exhale. Allowing the arms to settle onto the tops of the thighs. Just taking a moment to pause here. And we're going to walk the hands back. Reaching the arms forward, coming into second set of puppy, so stacking the hips over the knees, curling the toes under, getting long through the armpits. We're going to take the left hand into the midline of the mat and stack the right hand on top. You can put a little micro bend in the elbows. Inhale to lift the chest, lengthening it, beaming it forward, and then exhale, let's rest the forehead back down onto the floor. Inhale that first wave. starting to ground through the hands. And then exhale, we're going to start to shift the weight in towards the left side body. So stay grounding through your hands, and then wave to about 50% of our capacity. We just allow ourselves to work with gravity, but with a little bit of structural integrity. We're breathing and toning the muscles here a little bit. Exhale, third wave, just to soften. Breathing in towards the left side body. And then exhale, coming back to center. Inhale to lift the chin. Take a moment to pause. Resting the effort within the shoulders. Just circling them around, releasing any tension in your neck. And walking the hands back. Finding our puppy pose. Beaming the chest forward. This time the right hand comes into the midline of the mat, stacking the left on top. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale. Finding our way into this second set, grounding through the palms as we press them down. Wave one. Catching our second wave, start to press into the right hip, curving the outer edges of the right side body. And then wave three, just soften something. And then slowly coming back to center. Inhale, lifting the chin. We'll walk the hands back. Set the hips over the heels. Exhale, finding our way to down dog. Just shaking out any tension in the neck. Waving yes, no. Just tractioning out the neck ever so slightly. Inhale, let's let the heels lift. Exhale, start to peel the chest forward, coming into the spinal wave, finding our way to plank. Exhale, lowering all the way to the floor, uncurling the toes. I'm going to slide the hands into Sphinx. Inhale, grounding through the palms, grounding through the belly of the forearms, gently hugging the elbows together. Get spacious across the collarbones here. Just release any tension in the legs. Bring all 5 toe knuckles to the mat. Maybe the knees lift. Start to drag the pubic bone forward here. Inhale, beaming the heart forward. And then exhale, we're going to slide the right hand out, keeping it into like a half stop sign. You're holding a stop sign. And we're going to roll onto our right side. So you can rest your head down. As we stack the legs, stay really active through that right palm, lengthening the armpit towards the floor, getting into the front of the shoulders. If you're looking for a little bit more through kind of the lower back, you can pick up the leg and just see if you can touch for the floor behind you, or it can float in space. If you have a wall, you could even use that for a little bit of a reference for some traction. And just directing the skin of the quad down towards the knee. Working through your waves, just gently softening over time. Wave 3, we just try to become a little more passive. And exhale, planting through the right palm, will slowly roll back to center, taking the navel down to the floor. Inhale, finding Sphinx, beaming the heart forward. Exhale, coming into the other side. So left hand comes out, resting the left temple onto the floor. Inhale, start to roll, making our way, evening things out. Feel that gentle pressure through the left palm. Think of lengthening left armpit towards the floor. Inhale to lift that top leg up if you want to reach for the floor behind you, or potentially a wall, or just an imaginary wall. Always think of moving the skin of the thigh down towards your knee. Inhale to go soft. Exhale to surrender a little bit more, softening. And then to come out, let's really ground through that left palm, activate, and then slowly release back down onto the belly. And take the hands underneath the shoulder heads. Inhale to lift into cobra. And exhale, let's press onto the knees. Send our hips back and come into a downward dog here. Just pedaling the feet. Take a 45-degree angle with the right foot. Pressing into the right palm, bending the left knee. And you can gaze under the right armpit here. Just swaying the hips. Going into the other side. 45 degrees. Start to press into the outer edges of the left foot. Press into the left hip. Bending the right knee. Grounding into your left palm and gazing under your left armpit. Good. Inhale, let the heels lift. Bring your gaze forward. Exhale, we're going to walk to the top of the mat. Separate your feet the distance of your hips. Put a little bend in the knee. Keep it nice and soft without any tension. Let's walk the hands up to the shin. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, we're going to drop. Pour the skin of the belly up and over the thighs. We're going to interclasp the fingers and just gently grab for the back of the head. Sometimes I like to use my thumbs just to hook them onto the base of the ear, just to create some very gentle traction, just with the weight of the arms. And then we'll slowly take the hands to the floor. You can walk the feet out to a wide-legged forward bend. And once you find your way there, put a little soft bend through those knees. Inhale to find a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. I'm going to take the left hand across the right shin, moving the skin inward. Ground through the outer edges of the foot. We're going to take the right hand forward. Now rounding the back here. We'll start to press into your right palm and again send the breath behind that right lung. Really rounding the spine. And now switch. As you press the weight into your left hip, you're going to breathe into the left back body. Getting into the rhomboid there. And then coming back to center and switching sides. Inhale, halfway lift. Grounding through the feet, lifting the inner arches. Exhale, forward fold. I'll take the right leg across, or right hand across towards the left shin. Walking the left fingertips forward. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to ground through the left palm. Pressing into that left outer edge of the foot. Start to breathe to the back body. Starting with the left. Pressing into the left hip and then start to slowly shift the weight to the right. Rounding the back as much as you can. You can draw your chin into your chest if it's helpful to find that curvature to breathe into your right back body. This is where we're really starting to open up. And then softening something on your third wave. Walking the hands back to center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's walk the feet distance of our hips, coming to the top of the mat. Let's walk the hands to the shin. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to plant the hands. We'll step the left leg back, coming into a nice low lunge here. setting the left knee down. Inhale to breathe the arms up. And then exhale, let's fingertip the floor and slowly come back just to a half split here, getting into the front hamstring. And then we'll slowly shift forward, heel toe the foot out. Inhale to lengthen, coming into a lizard pose. And then exhale, we can walk the hands down if that feels accessible. Otherwise, we can work from the palms. Elbows gently hugging in, beaming the heart forward. Start to press that right knee back. Inhale to lengthen through the crown. And exhale, we're going to start to rotate, coming into a twist. So taking the right hand into the belly of the right thigh, and you can move the skin, bring your gaze up. Slowly start to round the low back a little bit. And press into the left big toe to lighten the left leg a little bit. If you want to keep going to the next stage, we'll bend that back knee. Maybe you want to grab for a bind. Want to make this feel a little bit more like a pigeon. You can start to revolve onto the outer right foot. Pressing into the outer right foot as we kick the back foot into the back hand, and the hand is pressing back into the foot. And then we'll slowly release. Start to revolve back to the front of the mat. Let's lift that back knee up. Heel toe the foot in. And we're going to step it back into a plank. Inhale to find length. Exhale to find all the way, coming all the way down to the mat, and curl the toes. Inhale to peel the chest up, halfway lift. Oh, exhale, shifting back. Coming into a down dog. And inhaling. Exhale, let's step the left leg forward. The right knee comes down. Inhale to breathe the arms up. Exhale to send the weight back. Pelvis moves back over the back heel. So wherever we're at, you can put a little micro bend in that front knee. Just play. And then we'll slowly start to shift forward, working our way to lizard. So we'll walk that front foot out to the outer edges of the mat, and then find where you need to be. Every day is different. You just want to go to the edge of sensation. You don't want to go beyond it. So if you need a little bit more stretch, you can come down. Start to ground into that left foot. Maybe send the left knee back. Plant the ball of the right foot down, just as a little bit of a counterweight. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, finding your twist. So whether you stay on your forearm or you want to come up a little higher, start to move the skin of that left thigh outward. Maybe you want to start to play on the outer edge of the foot. Staying with your breath. Using the inhale to find new space. Exhale to soften something. You want to bend the back knee and reach for the inner or outer foot. So finding our wave building from higher levels of activation and traction, strength building, and then starting to be more receptive. Second wave, softening something. Third wave, inviting a little more of a passive experience while still maintaining the structure of the position, and then releasing Very intentionally placing our left hand back and to meet the right. Let's heel toe that left foot in. Grounding both hands, stepping back to down dog. And we're going to slowly come down to the knees. And now we're going to find the pads of our fingers, press them together, and create a space as if you were holding a ball in between your hands. So really creating this sense of curvature. And we'll place our hands together, pressing our finger pads. We're going to come into dolphin arms and rest the ears between the forearms. We can rest the head. If that feels okay, we're going to lift the knees, start to send the hips up. Now don't worry if your head doesn't touch. It really has a lot to do with the proportions of our bodies, and you can also place something to raise the floor up if we want to make that contact. I find using a reference like the floor allows my head to soften and receive in the pose a little bit more. Start to press into the forearms and lengthen the shoulders away from the ears. Staying with this quiet strength. You can pedal the feet a little bit. The legs are calling for it. And then just settling your attention. Reaching the femurs back. Lifting the sitting bones up towards the sky. Breathing here for 3. Softening something. Wave 2. And wave 1. We'll slowly start to shift back onto all fours. And we're going to crisscross the legs. Come to lie down on the back. Just setting up for a little supine twist here. So crossing the right leg over the left, we'll send the hips off to the right and just allow the legs to come over to one side. Finding our half cactus with the right arm. Just tilting the head, bring your gaze over. So wave 1, maybe we make contact with the floor with every part of the body that touches. And then wave 2, we slowly start to soften that effort. And the third wave of breath, try to surrender a little bit more into the pose. And that might mean you slip out of it a little bit, which is perfectly fine. On our next exhalation, start to pull the navel down towards the mat, centering ourselves, uncrossing the legs, reset, coming into the other side. Inhale, crossing the legs, lifting the pelvis, exhale, coming into our twist. Left arm into a half cactus. Right hand can find its way to the top of the left thigh. Wave 2, softening. And wave 1, surrender. Inhale to breathe our way back to center. And exhale, we're going to roll over to one side. Slowly come up. Finding our way to a comfortable seat. If this is Before surfing, we would probably want to just take a moment to focus our gaze and attention. Feel the new sense of space within the spine, shoulders, neck. Hopefully feeling a little bit more connected to our bodies. Excited to get out there. Connect with this powerful source of nature. And placing your hands at heart center.